Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and tonight, it's been too long. We're getting the band back together. Tonight on Whiskey Business. I'm Dino Tripodis, your host and lovely hand model for Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And it's funny what you take for granted in life, is it not? You take for granted the fact that you're going to see your friends whenever you want to see your friends. And then something like COVID-19 happens and you don't. Well, tonight we are finally back together. Tonight on what I call this very special edition of Whiskey Business, we're getting the band back together. It's just myself, audio producer Greg Hansberry, video producer John Whitney,
woof, woof.
And like I said, your host
Is that a wolf?
And lovely hand model Dino Tripodis. And we are in our Whiskey Business studios, but we're outside. We are recording for the first time in the, I don't know if you want to call it the infamous pond.
Yeah.
But
we've been trying to come out here for 3 years.
This is the outdoor backyard bar, the pond, which is equipped with, I don't know if the camera will pick it up.
It's very nice.
All your modern stereophonic equipment. There's an old record player back there that plays nothing but albums. We do not play anything digital back here. We do have the TV. We do
digital
have
TV.
With digital
Yeah,
TV.
yeah.
We do have the TV, the flat screen TV, which is hooked up to cable and all the premium
Steelers
channels.
games,
Also
Pirates games.
Also
yes.
a DVD player, should
Ah.
you decide to have a movie night
Okay.
out here. So that's the one little extra. 2 refrigerators.
Extra.
2 refrigerators, normally completely stocked with beer, but right now only this one's stocked because it's early in the season.
Is there a freezer in one of those fridges?
There's like a little freezer, but
Yeah.
you know those freezers on those little fridges are not
so
worth a
good,
damn.
yeah.
They're not worth a damn. And we'll also be having our guest bottle for this evening, the Jefferson Reserve, very old, very rare Twin Oak Custom Barrel Bourbon Whiskey. A lot of fancy writing for what I consider to be, just a
I like it. It's good.
an average. Well, you know what? It's $80 a bottle.
Well, okay, it's not that good.
Jefferson's Reserve, and it was a gift. It was a gift. Jefferson's Reserve is always trying to do something fun with their whiskey. They source their whiskey from Indiana and Kentucky, and the fact that this one has been, it's 10-year-old whiskey. It's a good
That's
10-year-old
nice.
bourbon, but the last 4 months it was aged in yet another barrel.
Oh.
Hence the Twin Oak Custom Barrel.
Can taste
And,
both oaks.
And yeah. So
What does non-chilled filter? What is that? That little
non-chilled
sticker.
filter for your pleasure.
Ooh, sounds like a Coors Light commercial.
For
more flavor.
For more flavor. That's what it says. For more flavor.
We'll have to ask our distillery
And
buddies about that.
It always cracks me up that they chose Jefferson Reserve. Jefferson, because not a single Jefferson was from Monticello, right?
Yes. Virginia, yeah.
Yeah, Virginia. Not a goddamn thing in that bottle comes from Virginia. And Jefferson favored wine more than he did whiskey, for those that are history buffs and know that. So it always, Jefferson's Reserve. Yes, it's my reserve because I don't really care for whiskey, so there's plenty of it. But that's our guest bottle tonight. I thought I'd bring out something nice.
Yes, cheers.
Because I felt
yes.
bad in the last few weeks. Oh, which reminds me, I want to thank everybody who tuned in remotely on our Facebook Live and our YouTube Live over the last few weeks. This is kind of an experiment tonight. We're trying to save distance. We thought we'd do it outside. I don't know what to believe anymore as far as what's the safest way to conduct things indoors. If you're going to be indoors, stay 6 to 9 feet away. Have windows open to circulate the air in case you actually spittle and spray something and it goes out and it circulates through the window. So we thought, let's just screw it. Let's just go outside.
Let's just do it.
Outside seems...
Let's do it. We got the fans going. We have
Seems to be the...
nature everywhere. Oh, we have some bees, some birds.
There is nature
A couple of
chipmunks.
chipmunks.
everywhere. Chipmunks were running around before you guys came and set up.
Your neighbor.
There was a deer just hanging right there, and like we're doing a podcast tonight. moving along.
We need to get you a deer lick.
Yeah, dude.
You know
that'd
those
be
little,
awesome.
like
A
salt
deer
lick
lick.
thing? Yeah, it's like a salt lick thing.
Oh, it's for the deer.
Yeah. That's right. It's not for you. It's
don't-
not beef jerky.
Who was it that said they did the deer lick on your ass?
One of the comics.
What was that?
One of the comics did that. Yeah, what do you guys think of this? You like it?
That's not bad.
Right?
I like it.
Yeah. It's sweet.
Kind of sweet and kind of thick, a little thick.
It is very thick.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's actually pretty good.
Almost a little mapley.
Oh, yeah.
Can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit more.
Can't put your finger on it.
I've told this story before, but we went up to our little. My in-laws have a lake house in northern Michigan, and we snuck away over Memorial Day up there because we're just our family up there, and there's this tiny little gas station, the Indian River Market. It's,
I like it.
It's like, just like any other little Sunoco you'd find around town.
I like the sound of it.
Yeah, cigarettes, beer, and they have like Black Velvet, Jack Daniels, and then 2 sizes of Buffalo Trace and
nice.
Eagle Rare for like $30 for face
And
value.
Buffalo Trace,
Yeah.
which is not an expensive whiskey,
No,
as
but
we
it's
know,
hard
but
to
always
find.
hard to find. And
Yeah.
Eagle Rare.
Yeah, so this
is always
dive
hard
little
to find.
little grocery store. So
they
I
have
always
two of
buy
the
two.
premium
Yeah,
ones up there.
so I always buy one of each.
You always score at that one, right?
Yeah, it's the same one I
Yeah.
always go to.
Yeah.
They know me like once a year. There's going to be this schmuck from Ohio that comes
a
and
guy.
buys $80 worth of crap from me.
But like I said, we wanted to thank everybody who tuned in. We're going to go remote again in the weeks to come. In fact, next week we have a very special remote broadcast that we'll be doing live for a charity called A Kid Again. And we'll be doing that one remotely with Bobby Dodds and Sarah Bush. And our good friend Jesse Hubbard
yeah.
will be bartending for it. So we're going to go back to the remote format and back to Facebook Live. But tonight we thought we'd go old school and just have us. I hate to admit it, and I brought out a decent bottle of whiskey tonight because I've been drinking all the good shit
Yep.
while we've been
thanks,
remote.
buddy.
No,
You know,
right.
well, there was less of it. I was able to.
Yeah.
There wasn't. In all honesty, there wasn't enough to go around
Fair enough.
in those bottles.
That's fine.
There wasn't enough to
yeah,
go around.
right,
There wasn't
yeah.
enough
Uh-huh.
to. So I figured this is a good time for me to just sip out of these
All right.
bottles.
I was bummed out about the Widow Jane.
There's still some Widow Jane
I'll
left.
say maybe we can
Get a thimbleful of whatever we missed.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's say go feed Dino to the
That
deer
means, that
and
means,
let us
Or go raid his.
That means you
cabin.
guys have to go in the house.
Oh shit.
No,
just feed it.
I'm kidding.
Pour through the window.
You can go in the house. You can go in the
Yeah,
house.
where are we gonna piss?
In the deer lick. Go piss in the deer lick. But we'll get back to remote broadcast. But tonight we wanted it to just be us. And even though we talk and plan for our remote podcast, we really don't talk like we talk when we're together like this, face to face. I mean, even while we were setting up tonight, the conversation was markedly different for me already, because we weren't distracted with things in our home, and when we sign on StreamYard and do all this shit, we were actually conversing, and I love that. And I guess I'll just start it off like in all seriousness as we start to get back to some sort of normalcy, and right as soon as we get back to some sort of normalcy, other crazy shit happens, which we'll get into in a little bit. But how are you guys? I mean, where you at mentally? Where are we? I was fine for like the first 2 months. It was in the last 4 weeks that I started to shred a little bit. And where it actually started to get to me in the last like 2 to 3 weeks, especially, where things like, okay,
Right.
I've just about had it.
Yeah.
John, do you have an answer?
I did. Over probably the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been a little bit frazzled. I'm tired of sitting in my. I need to get a fucking new chair behind my desk because my ass hurts all the time.
Because your ass isn't used to being in it that long, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, at work, I would sit down for 20 minutes, half hour, get up and walk around for 5 minutes, come back. But there's only so many places I can go to in my house. But I mean, it's ridiculous. But it's just, there's like moments of like, I'm not doing enough. I'm going to get fired. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, completely
Job
ridiculous.
security is just totally thrown out the window right now,
Oh,
isn't
man.
it? It's
Oh,
just
my
there's
God.
no such thing.
I know there are a lot of people listening that probably
Okay.
have been, been laid off or whatever, and have, especially food service people. But it's just it's hovering over my head. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah,
here.
no, absolutely. I think the kids, as a big of a pain in the ass that they are, they've been a huge distraction. So I think that's kind of been a good thing.
Yeah.
They're done with school now, and we're like I was just mentioning, we were able to get out of town for a couple days, and that was huge. We were stuck in traffic, 7 hours of almost gridlock traffic to northern Michigan, and I looked over to my wife and I'm like, I'd actually rather be doing this than being stuck at
No
home
shit,
watching
dude.
cartoons again.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
And has the dynamic changed for them? Have you noticed a change in them with you guys being home more in their personalities?
I'm watching them grow up a little bit more, and it's fun watching them learn how to play with each other because they're getting. Mabel will be in kindergarten, and Davis is going to be in second grade already, so they're of like grade school age.
But do you know what I'm saying? Do you notice a change in them by simply having both of you there more over the last 3 months?
Yes and no. It's really hard because my wife has worked from home, and I've always had a weird schedule where I've been at home.
So it hasn't been
so it
that
hasn't
different?
been that different, and just a lot more of it.
And have they been aware of what's been going on? Did they have a childlike grasp of COVID-19?
Yeah. We equated it just to like a flu bug to Davis, my oldest, and,
Right.
and he gets it, because since they're born, wash your hands, cover your cough. They know that it's basic kid stuff, and it's really bad right now, so you can't go to school, so nobody catches it. I think he doesn't know any different.
Did they pass? Are they going to the next
they-
grade?
they
Did they both pass?
passed. They did, yes.
They're not being held back.
We'll see.
with you homeschooling.
I'm lucky that they're young because this, I can handle alphabets and numbers, but as soon as we get to calculus or something, lost cause.
Yeah.
It's a lost cause.
Are they talking to a teacher daily?
Yeah,
or?
not daily, maybe once or twice a week. They would send videos and stuff, and that's the other thing. I feel really bad for these teachers because they got thrown into this stuff too. Like everyone. Yes, everyone could complain about whatever, but they're just as out of how clueless as we are about what was going on and what to expect. So I don't know. And then just today, DeWine says that they hope to have schools back in this fall. So
In
I'm
August,
just yeah.
And then what I read, 1 out of 5 teachers say they're not going back.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Oh, they're just not going to go back.
They're just not going to go back. Period.
I don't blame them. It's a totally different set of skills. If you're like a 10-year teacher who have done the same thing for 30 years, and now you're expected to turn everything upside down and teach in this brand new way, peace. See ya.
Yeah. But they're going to go back to classrooms in September.
That's
so
what DeWine's plan was
so
today.
why
This
wouldn't
is
they
on
go
this day.
back?
Why wouldn't the teachers go back?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for teachers and where their thought processes are. I can tell you that even though I've always had immense respect for teachers and thought that they were underappreciated and underpaid, I have even more respect for them. So if some decide that they don't want to go back, I'm sure they have their reasons.
Sure.
And-
It's tough.
and
My
I
wife was a
respect it.
teacher, and she quit. And not because she didn't like the kids or anything. It's just the bureaucracy of going through loops and or hoops and renewing your license and furthering education, which I think is all important part of it, but it wasn't fulfilling for her enough, and she wasn't happy. And honestly, she was working for a Catholic school that paid her dog crap dollars. No offense
Yeah.
to the Catholic school system, but you got to pay your teachers more if you want to keep them around. Anyway, but to answer your question, I broke down Thursday. It was Thursday when this crap started coming up. I got a text from my brother-in-law and says, "Oh, the Ohio Theater is on fire." Oh shit! And that I think was a little bit blown out of proportion. I think there was some vandalism done.
There was. They busted out some
But all of a
windows.
sudden, we were starting to kind of come out the other side of the tunnel of this COVID stuff, and then this, and right away I go, this just set us back 3 more months. We're back. I mean, not only culturally and socially, but just, I don't blame anybody. This is not even remotely on anybody's radar. But if you're out there, you're basically doing the exact same thing that they've told us not to do in terms of gathering.
Yeah.
And again, that's not a comment on the protests at all, but
no.
it's a fact that people are now going to get sick again.
People are going to be, the protesters gathering are not safe distancing.
And that's just so how bad important the protests are that they're willing to risk this COVID shit that they can't see for the problem at hand.
And it's interesting, like on the heels of COVID, we start to open back up and get back to some sort of normalcy. The horrific circumstances with George Floyd occur, and then that just lights a fuse that has been lit before and has kind of been dampened out with other incidents. But this one came at a point where I just me speculating, I wonder if it's a combination of outrage and also the fact that people have been quarantined for 3 months.
Out of work,
the perfect storm,
pissed off.
It's just all the things come together. Someone asked me, "Do you think this is the worst that we've ever been?"
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, and I said, no, it's the worst. It's the worst that we've ever been right now.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, it's the worst we've ever been right now. I mean, when 9/11 came, it was just the worst. It's the worst we are right then.
It could be, yeah.
When the AIDS epidemic, it's as bad as it can be right now. There's always been something bad in our world and in our lives, and somehow, we managed to get through it, and I hope that we continue to get through it. But with each thing that happens, shit changes.
Thanks, 2020 just keeps piling this shit on. Have you been seeing like the memes of all the? It'll be like a Jumanji, or a Rick and Morty meme with all these things that just keep piling on.
It's been the longest half year.
Oh my God,
of my life, and it's not even halfway over yet. This is the 6th month of the longest year that I can remember. I actually. Even though I turned 61 years of age today and I've never really felt my age, I got to tell you, in the last couple months, man, I feel every fucking bit of it. I wake, and I know part of it is conscious or unconscious depression. I acknowledge that. I suffer from it. I know that's part of the aches and the pains. But, man, it's like, Dean, snap out of it.
Yeah.
And what's it going to take to snap out of it? I don't know.
Plus, there's a lot of inactivity associated with this, everything, and it's just you don't get out as much, you don't move around as much. Who's
put on
tired?
Who's put on the COVID-15? I have put on the COVID-15.
Actually, I've honestly, that's one of the few things that have worked out for me. We bought a treadmill at Christmas. It was like the most fortuitous thing that we could have possibly done.
Good for you.
And this forced me to actually use it. So that's one of the silver linings of all this bullshit. I've been on the treadmill.
And you look thin. You look healthy.
I haven't done shit. What are you talking about?
You look healthy. You look thin and healthy. Well groomed. Nice new haircut.
Yeah, my wife actually did my haircut.
Good to talk about the hair here.
It was one of those things. I had an appointment at Longview Barbershop, and I was we kept on seeing people online, like their wives giving their husbands haircut. I'm like, why come you don't give me a haircut? And she's like, I'm not gonna give you a haircut. And I was like, please, just try it. We'll try it. And he goes, no. And then probably about 3 weeks of begging her, it was like almost like a dare. And she went out and bought some Conair clippers and a whole set.
Were there instructions?
Yes.
Did she follow the instructions?
For a crew cut. We had to go. The instructions were for a crew cut. I didn't want a crew cut, so we went online and we saw a couple of videos of how to kind of work the clippers and work the scissors, and she gave me a haircut.
It looks great, actually.
Thank you.
Did you tip her?
Oh man! But now she's got it. However much the clippers were worth. I mean, she
spent $25.
All right, so
on the
maybe
clippers.
one more haircut.
No,
yeah,
dude,
and then
usually my haircut costs $28.
There you go.
Yeah,
you're up $3
after the tip.
Now, are you done going to the barbershop?
I don't know. Depends on how
or
the next one goes.
Or are you going to let her continue to cut your hair?
If she wants to continue to cut my hair,
because you went to a barbershop? Wasn't going to the barbershop kind of a ritualistic type of thing? Kind of, Longview Barbershop's kind of an old school barbershop.
Yeah. Nick is my barber. Dave is the owner, right?
It's a barber. Such a barbaric term for
barber.
Barber,
but
not a hairstylist.
Yeah. But I would not go that often. Actually, usually want to go every 4 or 5 weeks or whatever it is.
That's about average.
I went maybe 8.
Every 8?
9 weeks, and I would come in looking like you actually.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
My hair
much.
very, very long.
And how long have you and Nick been together?
I've been going to the Longview probably, yeah. Oh, a few days. I've been going to Longview probably since, probably, I don't know, 20, 21 years.
That's awesome.
That's
See, I need a
cool.
barber like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll. You mind if I call Nick?
I've been through a slew of hair salons and stylists over the years, and whenever I latch on to one, I seem to hold on to her for a couple of years, and then she moves on.
Sounds like a regular girl in your life. Kidding.
It's so funny, but I've obviously not been back to mine yet, and I think she's getting ready to have a baby. So
It's 8 weeks.
yeah, so
9 weeks, however long.
Go down to Longview, man. But there's like
I would like to go back.
probably 8 people.
Well, if I go to a barber shop, I'd have to go see Tommy up at Worthington.
Okay.
Otherwise, he'd be offended.
Yeah.
And that's another old school barber shop where they got the chairs and the old magazines and.
Do they have the vibrating hands, the big motors on the back of the hands where you get a...
I don't know. I've never gotten my hair cut there, but with the massage
those,
the
right?
scalp.
Yeah.
They don't do that at the Longview, but that's one of my earliest memories of my
I
father
like to
going
go-
to the barber shop.
Do they
one
do?
of
Do they
those.
do a hot shave at Longview? They do a
I think
a blade shave.
I think one of the guys.
You gotta
That's
have a
what I would
special
like.
license for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
A livery, is that what it's called? Have you ever heard of that term? A livery? Livery? I don't know. I guess it's like...
That's the license you have to have in order to
I don't
use
know.
a
It's
straight razor.
like they're some fancier, like more hip millennial type of places where they
Yeah,
have
there's a
the
couple places
mustache
on
wax and stuff.
Yeah.
Livery.
When we
Something like that.
worked together at the radio station, you told
Yeah.
me about the one place over there on Bethel Road, the Bates and something. or
Bates and Brown, yeah, and they would give me a cocktail. I got a whiskey and ginger ale every time I went in.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
We broke up. That's a funny story.
We broke up.
I got a text from my
We
guy,
broke up.
Chris.
How do you break up with your barber?
Well, he texted me and he's like, "Hey man,
I can't cut your hair
I'm
anymore."
leaving. Yeah, no, I'm leaving the shop, and I'm going up to. He lives up in Delaware. He's like, I'm going up. If you come, this is my personal number. Text me and get you scheduled up in Delaware. But I'm like, I'm not going all the way up to Delaware for a haircut. Sorry, dude. I liked you enough, but I'm not that. Then, like the next day, I get an email from the actual Bates and Brown barbershop being like, "Hey, Chris isn't here anymore, but we'd love to hook you up with one of our other stylists." So they were fighting over me, and I decided to fuck them all, and I go to some other.
Where do you go
joint now? Blue Star. I don't know. It's just a chain. That's why I need a guy. I need a guy that I can sit there and take my kid to when he, wants to get a fresh fade for basketball
Fresh
games and
fade.
stuff.
Hey, well, Dave's
Hansberry,
cut my
yours-
hair for about 12 years.
Your
and
glass
now,
is too far away. You have to get
now-
your own ice.
And I stopped going to
He'll
Dave
be within
because he
6
was never available. It seems like he was always not available. So
Your guy?
Yeah, and then Nick, which is 2 chairs down, I said,
Two
"Hell,
chairs
Nick."
down.
And his son went to the same high school my kid had, so we had something to talk about. So just kind of moved over to Nick.
There you go. I shaved my kid's hair too. He asked for a lightning bolt in the side. He's
Nice.
like, yeah, can you do a lightning bolt? Hell yeah, I can do a lightning bolt, kid.
What was that football player that used to have a lightning bolt in his head? Freaking for the Seahawks. I forget his name. Back in the 80s.
It looks terrible, but I told him
Big
it's the
blonde
coolest
dude.
thing I've seen.
Can't remember.
Did movies too.
No,
O.J. Simpson.
not
Yeah,
O.J.
O.J.
Simpson.
Simpson.
Oh shit, that's gonna bother me now.
I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I'll
He
look
did
it
some
up.
action movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blonde
he
hair.
is,
and he's-
Bosworth.
Brian Bosworth.
Bosworth.
He was-
Bosworth.
he
Yeah, the
went
Boz.
Went to Oklahoma and then he went to Seattle, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of deer, I just got this from. I mean, this is actually funny from my neighbor across the street. There was a nice buck in your front yard a short while ago. Still had the velvet on his antlers. You could have deer for dinner tonight
In your neighborhood?
in my neighborhood.
Jesus.
And I'm like, more
There was
residential.
No doubt.
Now we have foxes. There was a red fox in the backyard and on the driveway.
Well, you got the ravine. You're back
Yes,
up against
sir, yeah.
the ravine. So.
And I think that's the other thing too, with the amount of people being sequestered over the last few months. The animals are like,
Getting
it's
used to it.
ours.
No shit.
You know, we're free to roam and do what we want. The people aren't coming out, and I think they've just been a lot braver and checking things out. But
Go
this
for it.
place, my God, deer, chipmunks, squirrels, rabbits, fox, birds. There was a bird's
Bees.
nest.
Oh, yeah.
I moved it after the babies were born. After I let them sit and have their babies and so forth and so on, I did not disturb the nest. In fact, I moved the nest over there, and then I actually took some video because I think it was a little, I don't know, a finch or I don't know. I'm not a bird guy, but it was like it was looking at me like where's the nest? Where's the nest? Where's the nest? Where's the nest? And it kept flitting around, and then I said over there, over there. Over there, over there, and they say that they'll find it again.
If you say over there a bunch of times?
Yeah, if you say over there, over there. I was actually talking to the bird.
Let's put bird seed all the way to the nest.
I'm pissed off with all this time at home that I haven't gotten more done inside the house.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but I went in to get the mic stands, and I thought you'd have like your liquor reorganized.
No, the liquor, I
yeah.
reorganized that before COVID ever happened.
All right.
That's but I'm talking about like my office.
Okay.
I did the tear down and the tear out,
Okay.
and now it's still just sitting there 3 months later. Just a freaking mess and pile of stuff that's in two separate rooms where I'm trying to organize it. It's that overwhelming, and every time I go up there, I go, tomorrow.
You don't have like stacks of paper on your bed that you sleep on that you'd have to sleep around the stacks of paper around your bed?
No, but
Because that would be sad.
that was college.
Oh, was it?
Oh, college, yeah, college. College. My room looked like like Oscar Madison's room in The Odd Couple. It was crazy. It was like books and papers everywhere, and it was a mess. No, it's not that bad, but the office is bad. And like I'm kind of pissed at myself, for not having more shit.
You'll have
No
time.
big projects around the house during this time?
No, there's some things that need to be fixed, but I'm not handy. I'm not handy at all.
You moved the TV to the front porch.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah.
Be useful for a riot.
I've continued to make my front porch more of a outdoor living room. I'm sure the neighbors are thrilled now.
Yeah,
that
when
there's
does the car up on Jack on
yeah,
blocks?
right. You're at the, all that's missing out there is a refrigerator, which I refuse to go that final step.
Well, you got two back here at the pond.
Because there's two indoor easy chairs out on the front porch. There's a carpet. There's a table. There's a AM radio. There's a fan, and now there's an old tube TV out there, an old Sony Trinitron from the basement.
It doesn't get wet.
Well, it's underneath the roof, but I cover it at night in case some sprinkling of rain. I got an indoor-outdoor antenna for it, and so it just picks up antenna TV. It picks up all the digital channels because I got the converter box
Me TV.
to switch it over, and I'm older. Johnny's closer to my age than Hansberry is, but those antenna channels, the Me TV, TV, antenna TV, they show all the old TV shows. I would never watch those channels in my house.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, no,
Because I've got Netflix and Amazon and cable galore inside. But I watch them outside, and there was something very comforting about sitting outside and watching Dick Van Dyke,
Binging Hogan's
Heroes, and Perry Mason, and then watching The Twilight Zone came on after 2 episodes of Dick Van Dyke. Black and white TV too, so I felt like a kid again.
Nice.
On a little square TV, and it was black and white, and it's like I found something very, very comforting about it. And I've been out there a lot. Last night I watched Johnny Carson. I watched an old Johnny Carson. Richard Pryor
With Richard Pryor.
was the guest.
Did he
and
do a stand-up or just a guest?
He was just
a chair?
sitting down.
Yeah.
He was sitting down. He was plugging Superman 3.
That's right.
That was a piece of shit. He was plugging but he was very funny while he sat down. And Rod Hall and his emu, I don't know if you remember that, the guy with the emu puppet was the other guest. And Ali Sheedy.
Oh, shit. She must have been young as
She
fuck.
was not quite 21 years of age, and War Games had just come out.
Yeah. Matthew
And-
Broderick. I remember that.
I love that movie.
The Mighty Carson Art Players did a sketch. The Doc Severinsen in the band, and it was just this. I don't know, this very comforting, emotional throwback to, and I've been out there, especially now with the curfew. I've been out there at nighttime till like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning,
Oh my God.
sitting there watching
Your
black
neighbors are
and
looking
at
white.
you blind.
Old man Tripodis has lost his
He's
nuts
lost
again.
it. He's lost his mind.
Abner, he's still out there.
What was it, Abner?
Yeah,
The Bewitched.
Bewitched.
Right? He's still out there watching television on the porch. Is that allowed?
It's Johnny Carson now.
Isn't there laws?
Oh man.
Aren't there laws?
Do they have old time commercials on those two?
No, that
cool.
would be that was kind of the whole premise behind Night Owl.
Right.
We played the commercials from the
Sure.
from the years that the movies that we were showing. No, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, boy, but it is they do target towards old people. On those
Hearing aids and life
Metamucil
insurance.
a
commercials.
lot of
Reverse mortgage.
reverse mortgages.
Boner pills.
That's things to think. Some sort of a bicycle pedal thing that you can
Oh, yeah.
sit
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and work. And
I should get that for Mal's grandma. That's
And,
great. Have you
there's
seen the chessboard with the Democratic and Republican chessboard?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Saturday Night Live sketch.
That was
Oh,
real.
that's the best.
I thought it was a Saturday Night Live sketch. I mean, it could have been. I go, no, they're serious. This isn't a joke. Yeah. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever
And they were
seen in my
taking
life.
pre-orders before, Joe got the nod. So they were like, and then when the Democratic nominee,
is
and then
selected.
they'll be like,
They had like the silhouette of what the piece was going to
yeah,
be.
yeah,
The question mark next
yeah.
to it.
Next time you're out there and maybe you had one too many,
Yeah.
buy one for the show. Giveaway.
All right, one political slam. It's ridiculous because I don't think Trump even knows how to play chess or checkers, for that matter.
You don't think he knows how to play checkers? I'll give him checkers.
You give him checkers.
He doesn't know about the double jump, though.
King me, king me, king me.
King me.
King me.
Yeah, no shit.
Have you had to go to the doctors or anything in the past
I had
few weeks?
one tele appointment,
Okay, those are becoming very popular now.
and they say those are probably going to stick around.
They should.
And it was only because, and the only reason I had a teleappointment because I had to get another prescription
Yeah.
for the one drug that I take. I only take one actual real medication for my enlarged prostate, and it had expired, so I had to go through
Bragger.
I had to go. Yeah, bragger. Yeah. No. You're never sitting at a crowded bar and two girls are huddled next to each other, saying to each other, "I bet he's got a huge prostate."
Big hands, big feet, big prostate.
You think it's big? Oh, I bet you it's huge. I bet you he gets up and pees 3-4 times a night. Which I don't.
Oh, Lord.
I don't. But but I had to do. I had to go. I had to go through the dance of the whole. And she did the whole top to bottom question about everything. What I don't understand is how they normally check your blood pressure and stuff
How
when
do
you're
they
in
do
there.
that?
They
that's
can't
kinda
do any
weird.
of that. So, but she was pretty thorough and
good.
asked a lot of questions.
I got guilt tripped into going to the dentist. I had an appointment back in March that obviously got canceled, and she called the receptionist called and I'm just calling to reschedule your appointment. When can I get you on? And I was like, it wasn't do you feel comfortable coming back or anything like that. It was when can I get you in? we need people in the seats.
Yeah,
I felt guilty. Yeah, I felt guilty saying
You
no.
to slide that over a little bit.
But I went and they did a good job. They were fine.
I got the call for the dentist as well to come in
Yeah.
for my cleaning, and I know, and I'm dreading it because I know I made a joke about it in previous podcasts. I know I'm going to have just a shitload of cavities.
Oh, me too.
That's part of my COVID-15. A day has not gone by where I haven't had some sort of cookie or candy. At first it was like, these are troubling times and I need to comfort myself. Right? These are troubling times and it's okay to have a row of Oreo cookies and it's okay to have 4 Kit Kat bars in a day. These are troubling times. But after the first month, it's like, okay.
He's covered in candy wrappers in his bed.
Using as blankets.
Yeah. But now it's just pure gluttony. Look, and speaking of nature, more nature. Oh, good.
Man, he got nailed by the
He
fan.
got nailed by the fan. Serves
That's
you
what you
right,
get.
Bumblebee. You were due. You were due. You tempted fate and met it in the pond. It's a circle of life.
Elton John. I got
Seriously,
caught.
it nailed him, didn't it, man?
Yeah,
He's
I thought it
done.
was a bird. How
Little
big it was. My other vice, I'm have been collecting records. That's kind of one of my things, and I've been going online and finding record stores that have been shut down because of the virus.
Oh shit, that's
and,
a good idea.
And buying them from like record store. Like I bought one from a dude.
So you're
and-
an opportunist.
Yeah. No. Like, well, yeah, but
Yeah.
also like supporting them a little bit while they could. Like there was a guy in Arizona. A lot of them weren't like closed, but just like just they couldn't open their stores, so they're doing online orders or whatever. So like Arizona and Colorado, but. I bought this one, and Mallory finally was like, "Stop buying shit." So I bought this one. I found this really cool Beach Boys bootleg, and I decided, all right,
That's cool.
Yeah, it's real cool. But I decided to put my works email or address on it because I was like, I'm gonna have this delivered at work.
Oh, yeah.
And sneak it in. Well, I live in the same neighborhood. I have the same mailman as I do at the radio
Oh, no,
station
he did
and
not.
at home. So he shows up Saturday. Knocks on the door. He's like, "Hey, here. It's Saturday. The station was closed. Did you want this?" He hands it to my wife.
Still got
no.
busted.
And she busted me. So then on my way out today, and she called me out on the way out today, I caught him, and he goes, "Hey, man." After the fact, he knew he fucked up, and today he apologized, and he said, "Hey, man, if I see something addressed to the station from now on, should I leave it at station?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
if
leave
you
it at
can."
station. There's a reason it went
And he
there.
knew he fucked up, and he apologized. His vice is he collects vintage Lego kits. And he's like, I just bought a $300 Lego kit my wife found hidden in the shed.
Oh my god.
So he was able to commiserate with me.
I got so bored that I ordered stuff from Publishers Clearinghouse.
no shit.
Yeah.
They still exist.
The magazines and stuff?
I
Yeah?
didn't order the magazines. No. I bought a tile scrubber with an extended handle, so I don't have
You
to
can reach down as
all
far.
the pesky bending over and reaching for that thing. And I bought a supposedly I haven't hooked it up yet. Supposedly it's a power washer that you can just connect to the hose.
Oh,
and
nice.
it'll work just like a power washer.
That's nice.
I don't believe it. I believe a power washer. They sell power washers for a reason.
Right.
I don't believe that this little attachment, which is mine for 3 payments of $3.99, is going to,
You can use a power washer out here regardless.
Yeah. Thing is, I have a power washer.
Then why'd you do
Why
that?
did you buy it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Power
you
washer
used
you
it
have to
yet?
plug
Is it
in.
working?
No, it's still sitting in the package. It's still and when
do
the
a power
packages
washer test.
when the packages came, I was like I had no recollection of what stamp I licked and put on there and sent out to Publishers Clearinghouse to
That's how you still have to do it with little stamps.
just look the little stamps. And
Does that qualify you for like Ed McMahon to show up with a
Ed McMahon
giant
doesn't
check?
do it anymore because
Check.
he's
He's
dead.
dead.
Too bad. That would be
No.
that would be a real big win. Who does it now?
The Publishers Clearinghouse team
Yeah, that's right.
It's not
with
like
flowers and balloons. They
That's
actually
not-
send you. They actually give you false hope that your number is one of the numbers that
I've
might be
seen
selected.
those.
They circle the local florist where they're going to be getting the flowers, and they have your address circled as well. That we know where you live, and this is the flowers. This is where we're getting the flowers. We could be coming to your house with a check for $5,000 a week for the rest of your life. And I'm like, I just want my towel scrubber.
right.
I just want my towel scrubber.
Well, that would be the time because you're not going anywhere. So you would be here when not Ed McMahon showed up.
Yeah. So
True.
Tile scrubber.
towel scrubber. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's what I bought. No cool bootleg albums.
Beach Boys.
I haven't done shit.
John, you've been doing a lot of work. You've done a lot of some videos for us.
Doing some
and,
videos. I actually repainted my deck last weekend
that's fun.
with the help of my son.
Did you have to power wash it first?
It was power washed by my nephew. Yes.
Attaboy.
I paid him $10 an hour to power wash the house. And the
Nice.
deck and
You have a
everything.
power washer?
I do not.
Did you rent one? What'd you do?
His neighbor,
Well,
his nephew had one.
Daniel, my nephew, Gil's got a power washer, so Gil dropped him off and he power washed.
Nice.
But what Gil doesn't know is that I went to the store and came back and he was power washing the front porch, and I was pulling up and all of a sudden the power washer is rolling down the stairs, hitting every stair on the way back down to the driveway.
Kaboom, 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 kaboom.
And Daniel was like chasing after it. And I was like, oh, perfect timing. I'm glad I freaking saw that. That was the
man.
best. It started back up again, but it was funny.
Was that gas or electric?
Gas.
Gas, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gas! I didn't know they had gas.
Yeah.
Gas
Okay,
power.
all
There's
right.
one. There's one in the garage that I bought from Mikey Two Shots.
For how many shots?
Huh? From the Italian
Yeah,
club. I bought
2
his. I
shots.
bought his dad's power washer.
You don't use it?
No.
You got another one besides that?
What?
A power washer.
I got the one I got from Publishers Clearinghouse attached to my
I was
hose,
gonna say if you've got another one.
and I got the Mac Daddy power washer in the garage,
Which is the one that used to be.
which that used to belong to Mikey Two Shots'
Okay.
dad. Yeah.
I thought you had a third. I was gonna say I'll give you $20.
No, I don't have a third power washer. No, I do not. But yeah,
The other thing I keep forgetting is you got a motorcycle in your garage.
yeah, I got an old Honda Matic.
That's what you should take up, hitting the road.
No,
Like,
Does it run?
I got it running again. I got it running again 2 years ago. And when I say it's a Honda Matic, it's got no clutch, so it's kind of rare.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna sell it.
All right.
Yeah. I'm getting a little more, just a tad bit more cautious as I get older. It's just like, I'm doing enough things to shorten my life as it is already.
I ride
I
a
drink too
motorcycle.
much. I smoke. I don't eat right. Maybe you should, not start to hop on a motorcycle at 61 years of age.
No.
Though it is a cool bike.
It looks
is.
cool.
It's a cool bike. It's a nice sized bike. And I'm sure some collector would love
Yeah.
to get it. So that's probably something that I
Right.
should.
That's probably why, especially with
is
the size of your prostate.
Is there still eBay? Do they still have eBay?
Craigslist.
Can you put it on eBay?
Maybe later this summer, let's do a motorcycle episode and get like some Harley enthusiast out here, a collector.
To somebody
And you
that.
can, or, I say Harley, but Honda. And you
Speaking
can talk about it.
of future podcasts,
Yeah.
once this becomes the norm again, I'm getting that damn tattoo. There's one thing that I did
Yeah.
decide over the last 3 months. We're gonna get a tattoo artist on the show, and we're gonna do the tattoo. I'm gonna get the chemical symbol for whiskey, and that's gonna happen. We're gonna do that.
Here or at the-
on well, it doesn't matter.
Will
We
they
can go-
bring their stuff?
We can go to wherever they want us to go, or they can come here. Whatever's easiest. I would imagine
Yeah.
going to their house would probably
Probably a shop of some kind.
go to their shop would be
Yeah.
safer and far more sanitary
You think?
Nah,
before it was all said and done.
pour some whiskey on it.
Yeah. You guys miss sports?
Oh yeah.
You guys are baseball
I was just
fans.
thinking about that last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be knee deep in play ball right now.
Yeah. And maybe by the time this podcast drops, but we're still been kind of emailing and texting back and forth about Little League ball. It's
Might
been we don't know. Like it's it's those $1 million questions. Like DeWine says, yes, you can start doing these youth sports, but when you kind of look at what it takes and the restrictions, you wonder, is it really worth it for first graders to try to learn how to play ball when you got to wear a mask? And they like one of the rules is kind of it makes sense, but it's kind of tricky, is that you can't share equipment.
Right.
So that would mean that we would have to have a catcher, and normally that wouldn't be every team has a catcher, but at first grade everybody plays catcher. You rotate around. You're not gonna have a 7-year-old play catcher
Yeah.
the whole damn thing. He'll overheat. So I mean, there's just these little things
Yeah,
like
but so
that.
a designated catcher.
Yeah.
That's all he does is catch.
Yeah, because they can't share equipment.
What about the ball? You gonna touch the ball?
That's
all
the
the time?
other thing, is would you have to like sanitize the ball after every inning? And that's one of the things that they've suggested. There's like
Yeah.
actual official guidelines that DeWine and the team have put through, and I mean, it makes sense.
And
you
do
want to
those,
keep the
and
kids
do those
safe.
stay in place for? I mean, is that it's the cliche-ridden term now, the new
The new
normal.
normal- well, at least for this season.
Is that going to be
Yeah,
the new normal?
I don't know. I mean, for this
You
season
know,
at least.
Is OSU football? It looks like they're going to try to play college football, but they're talking about the shoe having what, half capacity,
Right.
30 to 40,000.
I
people in
also,
it.
off the record, heard from someone that I will not reveal who, that they're talking about doing a spring season too. They're just investigating that as an option too. So I mean, because they don't know either. Nobody knows. Nobody knows
You
anything.
just suspending until spring.
So it'd be like this year's team would play in the spring,
Ah.
and then fall 20. So it would be spring 2021, and then fall 2021 would be like the next season.
All right, let's speculate for just a second. We're opening back up. You went to a restaurant tonight.
I did.
Yeah.
Bag of nails.
Were you comfortable?
We were outside. The tables were probably 8 feet apart.
Were you comfortable?
Yes.
Okay, you didn't feel weird?
No,
or
I was fine.
You were good? Have you been? I haven't been to a restaurant
I haven't
yet.
been, but not that I wouldn't, but I just haven't.
Let me just say, it was a patio, and we would not have done it unless there was a patio available.
You weren't ready to go inside to a
I was
restaurant?
not ready, no.
You weren't, because I went to one of my favorite Italian joints to pick an order up to go, and they were dining inside, and it looked weird to me.
Yeah.
It looked weird to me to see it. And granted, the people that were sitting at a booth were probably a family and had been together, throughout this whole thing. So that wasn't so much the issue, but it would just seem it seemed weird, and I don't know when I'm going to get.
I agree.
100% comfortable with that.
Well, remember we had my brother-in-law Matt Schmidt on the show on a Christmas episode.
Right.
Schmidt Sausage House open right now for you to go dine in.
That counts as a sponsorship.
Yeah, thank
he owes
you.
us money.
He owes us some cream
He owes
puffs.
us some money now.
But so I see that side of it, and they're working their asses off to make sure that everything's safe and ready to go and by the code, and because they don't. That's the last thing any restaurant wants, is to half-ass this and then have to close down again or get the bad press or whatever. So I see, and then
worse than that, half-assing it. What if there is a huge spike, second wave, whatever the case, which everybody keeps talking about and touting, like, oh, we're going to spike again, and everybody's forecasting more doom. Are you guys mentally prepared for another stay at home, another
That's
shutdown,
what I was getting at earlier.
another round of this?
I don't know how this country could survive another round of shutdown.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I was looking at the market today, and everybody predicted that the stock market this week would go plummeting. In the last 2 days, it stayed up. Not huge, but the fact that it stayed up is huge, and that's despite the incident with the protesting, and they said that the protesting was going to affect the reopenings of things, but the market said, I'm amazed that the market has survived as well as it has. And you guys talked about work and unemployment. I haven't worked in 2 years when I left the station 2 years ago, so I do live by the market, and my investments and so forth and so on. And I'm no financial genius, but I know that when I transferred my 401k, we moved it into way safer stuff. So in a volatile market, the volatility doesn't hurt me as much as it would have back in the day when I was like, put it all on black.
Do it.
Yeah.
Go, and then the market dropped 800 points and I just lost $80,000. I'm not in that position anymore. So it's interesting to watch that. So and I actually filed for unemployment. I didn't file for I didn't file for unemployment, and I didn't get it.
You didn't get
I didn't get unemployment. I didn't get a stimulus check, and I'm not bragging because I've not filed my 2019 taxes yet because they offer the extension, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So I put it off like everybody else, and I filed 2018, and I made too much money in 2018, so I wasn't eligible for the stimulus check.
Well, there's always hope for 2019. 2020 is already
2020,
2020,
man. 2021. I'm cashing in, baby.
Oh, man.
I'm getting everything, but I got none of the free monies that were floating around, and I'm fine.
And I've seen
you guys
a little
are
bit
drinking
of that.
an $80 bottle of whiskey. Granted,
thanks,
it was a gift, but still.
No, I've seen some of that where it's just this weird nature again of the beast where people are not going back to their jobs that are opening back up because they're making equal or more on unemployment.
Yeah.
And they say, why would I go to work when I'm making when it's a push and then I got to find childcare?
Federal and state.
Yeah, but that eventually you're not making that forever. It's gonna run out. You don't.
Yeah,
it's not indefinite.
I'm not saying it's a smart idea, but I'm just saying that's the
gonna have
nature of the
to
beast out there right now.
Do something.
Yeah,
Yeah, and my friend Jamie always laughs at me because I've never seen anybody that's just been so calm about the uncertainty of his future.
You?
Yeah, and he's right. I'm uncomfortably calm at times with the uncertainty of my future. I don't know what's coming next, but I know that there's going to be something, because I don't have an infinite amount of money that I could just, unless I die tomorrow, and then there'll be, which reminds me, I got to finish my will. But I'm saying,
wait.
But I'm saying that I still feel that there's going to be opportunities.
You've been saying that forever. This is just the next chapter of the Dino Tripodis epic.
But so many people now are working from home and are going to continue to work from home. All that office space, all that commercial real estate is going to be buildings are going to be emptied out. Are you still working at home?
Yeah, I work at home, and our building has been empty for 2 months now.
Yeah. There's once again I'm going back to my friend Jamie, who lives next door to a guy who has 14 McDonald's franchises. Okay, he's made more money.
I believe it.
With just drive-through being open at McDonald's, not operating the inside of his restaurants, cutting down on staff and operation costs inside, and making a ton just through the drive-through.
That makes sense.
And it makes you scratch your head and wonder,
economic thing. They're going to cut out the insides of restaurants now.
Well, yeah,
start building them that way.
Maybe
make them the size of a photo hut.
Right?
Was it Rallies? They have Rallies in Columbus.
Yeah, they have Rallies.
Yeah,
that was small. It was just like a little kitchen and 2 drive-throughs.
You just drive through.
Yeah.
Boom. I don't know.
I know my son is kicking ass with Uber Eats, and he says the majority of his deliveries are fucking McDonald's. People are Uber eating McDonald's.
Right.
It's crazy.
He's driving for Uber Eats?
Yeah.
Now, does that concern you? Because he's been coming in contact with everybody.
I think most of those guys, they just kind of grab the bag, and he wears rubber gloves, and then he just drops it off on their porch. There's no contact.
I think that's the thing is you drop it off on the front porch, and you could text them that you're here or whatever.
You just knock on the door. And we have a little tiny table next to our door. And they just knock on the door and they put it on the little table.
And every commercial you see now, that's got delivery associated with it, that's the big catch, contactless delivery.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're not touching your pizza. We're not touching your sub.
Like they were fingering it before.
Yeah, right.
What were you doing, man? Forehand.
We were just taking our hands and putting our hands all over your cheese pizza before it went in the box.
Licking the pepperoni.
We're not doing that anymore.
That was grease.
We're not licking your pepperoni anymore. We're not touching your cheese. We swear, honest to God.
No, I'm just paranoid now.
Putting on the stuff. Oh man. But I mentioned at the top of the podcast, we were forced to go remotely with our podcast, but that kind of ended up being a little bit of a blessing in disguise.
I foresee us doing more of that.
We learned a lot. We had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people enjoyed it on watching it live. I'll be curious to see if we get any. Hey, where were you guys tonight? With Facebook and YouTube. I don't know how it affected our regular numbers when people just anticipated, listening or watching Whiskey Business,
right,
like they always do. So.
I think the COVID-19 has kind of changed people's listening habits, so it's kind of making
in radio we get a lot of that data, and you're right. I mean, if you think about the millions of people who are not commuting on their way to work,
right?
They're not listening to the radio.
They're not listening to the radio. Same with podcasts.
And maybe they're not listening to a podcast, and maybe they're listening on Alexa. Which, by the way, you can listen to a Whiskey Business on your smart device.
We didn't do any of the business when we started.
But but again, maybe you're in a home office where you can't have your speaker on as loud, or you got kids running around. I mean, just the habits of consumption have changed, or you got a million other options. Maybe you're binging, the Wire again.
Yeah.
While you're working.
Yep. Your wife sent me the proper order, the timeline order of all the Marvel movies.
Oh,
The
she
Marvel
did.
Universe movies.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different. Instead of a release order, she gave me the timeline order.
Captain Marvel's first, right?
No.
America.
Captain America's first,
Oh,
then
Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel
Oh.
Right.
is next as
'Cause
far
that's-
as the
'cause that's
timeline.
80s, yeah.
It goes in the timeline.
I talked to George Wolf, our buddy movie critic.
Oh, sure.
And he says, no, watch them in the order they came out. He's anti the timeline order.
He's anti-timeline?
Yeah.
I respect George, and now I think, now what do I do?
I know, because I've never seen them all. I thought about doing the same thing. I kind of want to watch them in the timeline.
Yeah. And
What,
so you won't
Whitney,
do
you're the geek. You're a geek.
Yeah.
What do you say, timeline or release order?
I think timeline makes sense
Because the
there's
next
a-
Marvel movie doesn't come out till November. They pushed Black Widow back till November.
Right.
That's the next big Marvel movie in the MCU.
He called John a nerd.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I like watching Star Wars in the machete order. So
What's the machete order? What's the machete order?
you watch episode 1, right?
Okay.
And then you go to not episode 1. You go to episode 5, and then you as the first one, and then you watch 1, 2, 3, and you treat them as what you call when you're seeing back in the past. What is it?
Like a prequel.
No, not a prequel, but as
a flashback.
As a flashback, and then you go to 3, 4, or 5,
I'm
6,
confused.
7. Anyway,
And they call it the machete order because you're cutting it up.
you're just cutting up the order of
cutting up
how
the
to
order.
watch it. Yeah.
Well,
I messed it up.
yeah.
I did. I got it.
Well, that's a good perspective. It's like Star Wars. Do you watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Watch them in order like that, or the order that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
I don't know.
Sad that's actually
what we're talking
on my
about.
list of things to do during these last 3 months.
See, my boy. I bet he's right there. He'll be in second grade. I think it's about time. We haven't really watched him much, but I bet we can start getting into that second grade, right?
I think
7,
so.
8?
Yeah. It's kind of cool for
It's
me
on
because
Disney Plus for crying out loud. It
the
can't
last
be that bad.
the last Marvel movie I saw was I hate to say it was the Avengers. I haven't watched anything since the Avengers.
None of them?
None of them.
Jeez, you're talking about 10
yeah,
movies.
me neither.
Yeah, which is why I decided to start from the beginning and do the whole
Yeah, all the
Whole ti-
Ant-Mans are great. They're fun.
timeline thing. So.
Love Paul Rudd.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Man, I don't know. Something's got to give, all overall, in general. But the one thing that is a constant is that we will continue to do whiskey business. And if you're listening and things are getting better for you and you want to sponsor our show, we were so close to sponsors right before COVID, and then they all went away.
Yeah, funny
Yeah.
how
Yeah, it's just-
pandemic will do that.
the pandemic will do that, so we're hoping to get them back in the loop again too. So before it's all said and done, but yeah, this thing has saved me. This has saved me, and this tonight, as we start to wrap up, Hansberry, has been awesome. It's just so good, just to.
I want to do it at the pond again. We've talked about it for years. Why don't this is actually easier probably setting up out here.
Kind of fun. I need lights though, but we'll figure that out.
Yeah, well,
I can figure that out.
we can get another set of lights out here, right?
Yeah.
That's
I get
I got a
China,
guy.
China lamps with 100-watt bulbs in them. Those
you
are
keep
fun.
talking about these China lamps.
The big white
Where were they made?
balls that are like just big.
I
white
know what they are.
balls.
You know, we have them in our.
They're like $10, and you buy like a $3 100-watt bulb, and you're cooking with gas.
I got these old movie lights in the garage
Oh,
that are like amazingly bright. I can't even remember where I got them. If I wasn't so lazy, I'd get up and bring them out and show them to you. But
yeah.
but I'll show them to you afterwards.
Yeah, show it to me.
When you get out the power washer.
Turn them on. The pond catches on fire.
I mean, they're super bright and they're super hot. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I bet.
they're actually movie lights. It says right there, and it's got to be like from the 60s.
MGM or something.
From the 60s.
Movie lights.
Movie lights.
It's got to be something really
those
old, and they
TV
all work.
lights.
The bulbs all work.
I'll check them out.
Yeah, super bright. So, thanks.
That's all I got.
Thanks for braving
Yeah, we're done.
the safe
I'm
distancing.
glad we still got 2 hours before we have to get home before the rubber bullet starts getting shot at us.
That's right. Get in your house.
You showed me that video. I didn't believe that video when you
I'm
sent it
telling
to
you,
me.
it's true.
It was a bunch of. It was a group of where Minneapolis.
Yeah, and they were.
You tried to
they're
tell
on
me
the
it was from
porch.
Columbus.
Well, that's what I misunderstood. I thought my son told me it was Columbus. Then I researched it was Minneapolis.
Yeah, no, I called bullshit because the curfew's 10 o'clock, and these cops were walking down the street
Yeah.
of a neighborhood that looked like a Columbus neighborhood,
Yeah.
very easily, very very much so, and they're screaming, "Get back in your house! Get in your house!
The next thing you know,
Get in your house!"
They're on their porch.
And these people on their porch because he was telling me, you can't stay on your porch.
Right.
You're gonna end up getting shot with rubber bullets if you stay on your porch. And I go, what? And then I thought it was. I did. I thought it was like a
Right.
scene from some movie because then there was one cop that yells, "Light him up!"
Yeah.
And boom, 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 boom. They start firing at these people on their porch, and these people are running into their house, getting hit with rubber bullets. I'm like, come on.
That's called escalation. That was unnecessary.
Then
And
I
that
called.
is that's my comment of the night.
Then I called bullshit. It wasn't Columbus because it was too light out, and the dialects that I was picking
Yeah.
up with the police officers were not Ohio dialects.
that's right. Get inside. Is that Minnesota? I don't know.
Hey, you over there? Hey.
So, yeah, crazy times, man. Great, but we adjust. I mean, that's it. Human beings are chameleons, and some adjust better than others. Obviously, as we see everything that's going on in the world. So,
And two, I mean, we brought it up. I don't think we officially said this. Obviously, I think we support all of this, right? I think as a whiskey business brand, we could say Black Lives Matter. We support all of this.
absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yes, thank you. Because I've told you guys before this. I was like, I don't even think we should do this. I'm a little nervous, but that's where I'll leave it there. Because it wouldn't. We're not going to accomplish anything here except for have some fun. And
we did. We
just,
had
just
some
add
fun
some
tonight.
levity
We
to
had
this
some
crazy
laughs.
ass fucking world we live in.
We had
Yeah.
some laughs. We addressed the stuff that's obviously right in front of us, and that we're living with day to day. Did we go deep? No, but we had no intentions of going deep tonight. These are just three friends tonight that haven't seen each other face to face in over 3 months, and we just wanted to get together and kind of get back to our roots.
Yep.
Here at Whiskey Business. So we hope you that are watching it on YouTube have enjoyed it.
Cheers.
Those of you who are listening enjoyed it. Hansberry, give them the business
Sure.
before we go.
Yeah, thanks for subscribing on your favorite podcasting app. Rate and review us if you would. That would help us out. We're on iHeart podcasting and now Spotify. So what's cool about Spotify is you could create a playlist. So you could put a bunch of Whiskey Business episodes in. You could add some Dean Martin music if you wanted. You could just have this cool Whiskey Business playlist and listen to all old episodes and a bunch of music and stuff too, to kind of hang out and just chill and listen to. What else? Subscribe to us there. Subscribe on YouTube. Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis. Like us. Subscribe. Click the little bell for notifications. What else? Whiskey Business. WhiskeyBusinessPod.com. Thank you.
Yeah.
Has everything right there.
Yeah.
And on follow
All
us
our
on
Whiskey
social
Wisdoms
media.
are
Yeah.
up there. I've had a bunch of people, well, not a bunch, a handful, saying you need to do something with the Whiskey Wisdoms. We need to get them, send them to someplace, send them to somebody, make somebody else aware of the fact they're too good, Johnny.
Yeah,
you
they're
and your
good. Well
brother,
done.
you and your brother did an amazing job with those things.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
So,
they're good.
we've
They're
got
nice.
a couple more, but they're holiday-ish, so they won't pop up until
We'll work on another batch. We got to.
till Christmas. But we're gonna do. We keep trying, people. We keep trying to give you more and more stuff, and also we always forget, and I'm also reminded that is the Teesprings
It's still there.
link on our website.
No, actually, no. It's on the YouTube channel. So
We should put the Teesprings, and you can pick up Whiskey Business merch as well,
T-shirts, mugs.
mugs and whatnot.
The premise
The
mugs
premise.
and
Remember the
t-shirts.
premise.
Will that
Remember
ever
the premise?
happen? Will that ever happen again?
Remember the premise. Remember we used to be at Shadowbox live in front of people
Will it ever
in an
happen
audience.
again?
Yes, it's
Ugh,
going to happen again. It's going to happen again.
I hope so.
My biggest question is, will the will the two premises be coronavirus related, or do we stay away from it completely? Will they be God, I don't know. All right. Many thanks to Greg Hansberry, audio producer. Many thanks to John Whitney, video producer. Many thanks to Jefferson Reserve, Twin Oak, custom barreled, very old, very rare bourbon whiskey. $80 a bottle. I don't even think Jefferson would have paid that much.
After drinking it, it reminds me a little bit of like an Angel's Envy, like not as good of an Angel's Envy.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of 10-year bourbons that are just as good for half the price. Not slighting it, Jefferson Reserve at all. No, it's good. It's good. It's been very, very tasty and flavorful. But $80, these are hard times. These are hard times. So, my friends, until the next bottle, see ya.